welcome to JLJ This Morning, your piece of positivity and encouragement every morning here on JLJ Media. I'm James Lott Jr., the JLJ of JLJ This Morning and the JLJ of JLJ Media. It never gets old, people. I keep saying it forever. And I'm happy to be here. But today I have a guest, someone, when I thought about this whole venture, she was number one on my list. I was like, I knew I had to have her on the show. I just love her so much. I've interviewed her before. We become friends. She is the CEO of the Optimist Daily. She also has the Optimist Daily Update. She's all about strategic growth. And she's a mom of a beautiful daughter, Brennan. And I'm so happy to talk to her. Summers McKay. Hi, Summers.
Hi, James. Good morning. Thank you for having me. Thank you for kicking off my day in just such a positive and happy way. I love what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. And I love your plant back there. It's growing.
I know. Can you believe, like, it's definitely from our first interview till
Yes,
now.
I
But
know.
of course, but now I'm moving. And it's a money tree and it's just like going crazy, which is great. But I'm very worried because my family and I are moving next week to Austin, Texas. And on the other side, I have all my orchids. And I'm quite nervous about how they're going to do in the new house because I finally got them all perfect and the orchids are reblooming. So I need some of your green thumb to get sent with these guys to Austin.
If you just be really careful with them because they are temperamental. You're right, they're temperamental. Money trees are temperamental, but when they find it, my giant money trees over here, it's way up. They can't even see it. It's you see it up there. It's way over there. It's huge. It loves that spot.
Right.
So
right.
Just find another spot in your home.
Yeah.
It'll take some time, but even if it dies a little, it'll come back. It will come back.
Yeah, well, so gardening, I think we've talked about this before, but gardening is like the ultimate in optimism, right? Because you have to be willing to let the plant kind of go fallow. You have to let them shed their leaves, and then you have to be willing to say, like, all right, ladies or gents, mine are all ladies. All right, ladies, I'm with you and we'll wait it out and I'll keep feeding you and I'll keep nourishing you and I'll keep giving because I believe that there's going to be, the next growth. I'm most worried about my ficus trees because they're outdoor, but they're going to come indoor because Texas has too extreme of weather.
Yeah.
And I know, as you know, with ficus, they'll lose all their leaves, but they're still there. They're still there. No, and you got to wait it out.
I'm glad you said that. It's okay. So I tell somebody the other day, I bought these small trees for $4.99 at Home Depot. I like to rescue. They have this little section where they're $2. Take them.
Exactly. It's you or the dump. Basically.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, so I buy them up because I'm like, they're still living things. So I buy them up. And you're right. You have to really be present when you're gardening. You have to pay attention to your plants. Because a lot of times, if they look a certain way, it's not true. Don't believe it. Like plants do shed, plants do, they stop blooming for a while. They do come back. Now, especially this time of year, because now for many of my outdoor plants, spring is coming. So a lot of my plants are now starting to sprout. They look so desolate during the wintertime.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, you're coming back. I talk to my plants too. Like, you're coming, baby, you're coming back. Oh my God, I'm so happy. And I talk to them and encourage them. And it's very much, you have to kind of just always be present. And that's what I love about gardening. It's basically you're watching something and you're caring for it and nurturing it and assisting it in its way. And you're also staying out of its way so it can do its natural thing, which is a great lesson about everything sometimes. Get out of your own way. That's what I love about gardening. But yeah, my stuff is starting to come back to life that hibernated for the wintertime. They went away and now they're coming back.
And then, so I have some plants that I bought from the 99-cent store, right? Size, right? That I have now 14-foot tree outside my window. And it was a 99-cent store plant. Now it's 15 years old, I think, probably 13, 14, maybe 15 years old. And it's lived in multiple locations. It lived in Los Angeles. It's lived up here on the Central Coast. Yeah. We are going to have to cut about 2 feet off the top of it to get it into the truck. But my husband has agreed that my garden comes with us. So it's good. And, it's all the things that we look to find optimism in, right? So it's these practices that we have. And for me, gardening is one of my most optimistic practices. And, that's what we do here.
As gardening and art, if I can do that for the rest of my life, I'm good to go. Both those things, I'm good to go.
I love your shirt. I arted. It's perfect.
I arted. So I love it. I love this shirt. I do. But no, it's one of those things again. And even in shirts, this shirt makes me smile when I put it on. It makes others smile when I put it on. Yeah. Optimism, it's everywhere. Positivity is everywhere. It's in things. My mug, I was showing my mug earlier. It made her smile. It makes me smile when I drink out of it. There's optimism in daily. There's optimism in everything. It's just kind of I love that. And so you started this thing. You're the CEO of Optimist Daily.
Yes.
Talk about what is that?
Okay, well, first, I'd like to thank you for how much support you've given to the Optimist Daily by sharing our stories and by having me on. The Optimist Daily is a digital publication entity. We're a media company, and I did not start it, but I was brought on to be CEO. And the investors and founders, Lala and Ronaldo, were very courageous in hiring me at 9 months pregnant to be the CEO, which was extraordinary. But like you and I, they believe in growth and birth and expansion. And so they said, let's do it. So I run it with my partner, Christy Jansen. She's the chief content officer. And every single week we publish 55 positive news stories, right? We take news, real news that matters, and we give you the positive, optimistic solution mindset of that story. A lot of times when you turn on news media right now, it's negative, right? If it bleeds, it leads is the age-old journalistic headline sort of notion. And we are disabusing media of that notion through real positive stories. And it's stories about solutions in technology and health and personal care and biodiversity and food and business. I love the business beat, and I love the idea of optimistic solutions coming from business. I think there's a huge opportunity for capitalistic enterprise to do good and move forward good in this world. And so every morning, our team of writers releases 10 new amazing articles. Every weekend, we have a long form essay that we share with some of our premium subscribers. And then we also record the Optimist Daily Update every morning, which is generally speaking, Christy and I reading the top headlines, talking about our favorite stories, and more often than not discussing my cat and our dogs. So we have a lot of fun. We have this amazing global team. We have writers in the Netherlands and in Costa Rica and all over North America and Central America and Europe. And it's just, technologists from all over the world. And it's this global effort of people who are committed to changing the tenor of news media to one of positive solution-based stories.
And that's what I love about it, because my whole thing is, yes, there are bad things that go on out there. You should know about them.
Yes.
But the balance is just not there. We need to, because people can't just take bad all the time. We have a lot of folks with mental issues, anxiety, and
depression and mental health issues are absolutely skyrocketing. And you've seen this too, but during the pandemic, there's been so much struggle and so much personal sort of pain and loss and grief. And then if you just turn on news media and it's car crash after bad CEO doing this and bad policymaker doing that, it's just a rabbit hole of negativity. It's dangerous.
It really is. It's not good for your health physically or mentally. It really is.
Right.
It really break you down. And what I like about yours is that it's actual news. This is not, you're not making nothing up. This is not some kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not just like cute kitten from the tree, right? Which, believe me, if I could do an entire website dedicated to kittens, I would. It's just difficult to monetize that. But it's because there's good news, right? There's good news, and there's positive, and there's feel good, and then there's also really critical stories. We have a very heavy focus on understanding the evolution of the energy economy and how the energy economy can change. And we look at it, we know that solutions aren't siloed, right? The answer alone is not just everybody get an electric vehicle. The answer is that increased numbers of people driving electric vehicles, increased responsibility in the way that they are manufactured, increased responsibility in the circularity of those electric vehicles, ensuring that batteries end up having a useful life and have a healthy way of, for our planet, of disposal. It's not just, the checkmate of eat more vegan. It's why is eating more plants and eating less animal food or less animal products, why is that an economically viable solution? Not just what, what I think happens a lot of times in media is it's just that checkmate, right? It's that I said this and that was my point. Well, that doesn't make anybody better. That doesn't make anybody understand why these things matter. And so what we love at the Optimist Daily, and I appreciate that you really recognize that too, solutions aren't siloed, and the discussion around solutions has to be a healthy, positive dialogue, giving each other the vocabulary to understand these things.
I do. I agree with that. I just think there should be a balance on some levels. Like you have to take the good. I'm not doing the facts of life theme. You take the good, you take the bad. The facts of life. But you do. You really do. You really do need this kind of. We should, and because again, it's actual news. Something's happening in the world that's going to affect you and your life, or can affect you in your life.
Right.
You should know about it, and so at least you have a place to go. You don't have to search for it so heavily. It's not buried somewhere else. It's like there's places to go. We can actually see this news.
Right. And there's no risk when you're on the Optimist Daily. You're not going to accidentally click on something that's going to make you feel bad. Right. I was talking to somebody the other day about the fact that, sure, there are other news media entities that have their positive news beat, and it's in like some dark corner of their website, right? Where they're like, you have to dig for it. But don't worry, you could be reading a positive story and we're going to tell you about the latest car crash. That's not going to happen at the Optimist Daily. We're going to take on real topical things. Like we recently took on the energy crisis that happened in Texas, and we talked about solutions focus. And what it does, I think also, is it allows you to have a dialogue. You can forward the stories and share with friends and post on social so that we can change the dialogue, right? Like no more negative clickbait. Let's do like some delicious, meaningful, healthy, green meals of news and solutions that we talk about and we share together.
I love that. So tell folks where they can find the Optimist Daily update. You said there's some premium subscription. Or can you explain all that?
Yeah. Okay. So we are reader funded, and we have this model that most of the time doesn't work, but at the Optimist Daily it does, because people really love us. And so all of our articles are free. All of our articles are available to everyone. Our entire database is available. If you are a premium subscriber, you're an emissary. That's what we call our premium subscribers. And they just choose to pay $5, $15, or $50 a month. There really is no upsell. The only tiny upsell is that on Sundays, we'll send you our premium long form essay called The Optimist View. But otherwise, if you are unable to afford $5, $15, or $50 a month, you can become a free subscriber. That's who we call our optimists. You get all the stories. You can access everything on social media. All of our stories are shared across that. So you find the online subscription at optimistdaily.com. You can also listen to Optimist Daily Update on anywhere you listen to podcasts. And then we're across the socials, right? So just search for Optimist Daily on all the socials. Our Twitter handle is a little weird. It's called Ode to Optimism, because long ago we got locked out of Optimist Daily Twitter handle, and Twitter makes it really hard to get your handle back. So yes, I think everyone knows this, and Twitter, like, solve this problem, please.
No, I know.
But
I know how it is. Yes.
You can find us anywhere that you are sitting with your phone and needing to start your morning better.
Yes, and please do that. Please go ahead and check them out. Also, I'll have all the stuff in the description below, of course, and I'll continue to share their work on our pages, which are JLJ this morning. You can follow them everywhere. Thank you so much for being on the show this morning.
Thank you, James. We love being on, and perhaps we can get you to come be on the Optimist Daily Update sometime.
I'd love to. Anytime you want to, I'd love to go on there. Everyone, please have a great day today. Find a way to look at the glass, not half empty or half full, but you have a glass of water. See you next time.